right, you are welcome back to today's broadcast. In fact, I will say congratulations to the people of Biafra. Congratulations to all Biafrans. Um, the independence of Biafra will be very soon. The way the world and everybody around the world is recognizing the freedom of Biafra, it is something that is very amazing. Now, Brazil, they have finally declared full support for Biafran freedom. In fact, don't skip any part of the video. Try to watch to the end because this our brother is going to explain to us a lot of things that is going on right now in Brazil and what they are doing for the Biafran to be recognized in their homeland. Because as it is, they have already having a full support from the Israel government, or from the Israel country. So, as according to the headline, it says, finally, Brazil declared full support for Biafra and for the independence of Biafran nation. Can't you see it? That is why you see a lot of things is happening. That is why you see this recently the Nigerian government, they are planning to sentence Mazam Kano death sentence for the thing that is happening around the world, and how the United Nations and the US, how they are declaring support for Mazam Kano for him to be released, and all those things has been causing a very big problem to Nigeria because they don't want any country, no any world to talk anything concerning Biafra, and they want to silence everybody that is even speaking concerning Biafra because they claim that the Biafran is the problem of Nigeria, that they are the terrorists terrorizing Nigeria, not the bandits, not the Fulanis, not those men that is carrying guns and machetes everywhere, chasing away villages and kidnapping people. They are not the problem. That the problem of Nigeria is Biafra, is IPOB. So that is the main reason why none of them they don't even want to use their ear to hear anything Biafra. But as it is now, the way the world is recognizing Biafra every day by day, it is what that is shaking and is shocking them, and in fact it is baffling them right now. In fact, I would like you to watch it. As I'm about to watch, right, subscribe and share it. Let everyone see things going on in Biafra land.
Information reaching us now has it that the nation of Brazil has mentioned and also has recognized Biafra. I know this might sound like a surprise to so many, but hey, come on, you shouldn't be surprised. Well, I'm going to allow you to watch the video and of course the statement they dropped. But before then, I want to read a part from that statement the Brazil parliament dropped. Please listen to this. It says, in a landmark decision, the Legislative Assembly of São Paulo, Brazil, has officially recognized May 30th as Biafra Heroes and Heroines Day and passed motion number 186 of 2026, applauding the Biafran struggle for self-determination. Applauding the Biafran struggle for self-determination. Now, I'm very sure some of you will begin to understand why the Nigerian government, is so anxious, or will I say, are so quick to sentence Mazam Kano to death. You will begin to understand, right? Well, I'm going to allow you to watch this video and, understand what this statement means. Then after listening to it, you do well to drop your comment in the comment section. I tell you that a lot is happening. But hey, come on, we are here to get you the informations of everything happening. Both the ones they don't want you to see and the ones they want you to see. We are here to bring it to you, undiluted. As I talk, I dey show you. Please listen to this video.
In a historic move, the Legislative Assembly of São Paulo has officially applauded the Biafran people and recognized May 30 as Biafra Heroes and Heroines Day. The resolution, known as Motion Number 186 of 2026, was published in the official Gazette of the State of São Paulo on May 29, 2026. It pays tribute to those who fought and died during the Nigeria-Biafra Civil War, 1967 to 1970. The document strongly describes the war as one of the greatest humanitarian tragedies on the African continent in the 20th century, stating that it resulted in the genocide of 3 million Biafrans. The Legislative Assembly of the State of São Paulo manifests a motion of applause to the Biafran people in commemoration of Biafra Heroes and Heroines Day, to be celebrated on May 30th as a symbol of resistance so that the world does not forget the Nigeria-Biafra Civil War. The motion explains that Biafra was forcibly annexed to Nigeria during British colonization without the consent of its people. In 1967, Biafrans declared independence and existed as a sovereign state until 1970, while fighting for self-determination. A major highlight in the document is the historical connection with Brazil through football legend Pelé. In February 1969, during a Santos Football Club tour to Africa, the presence of King Pelé helped bring about a temporary ceasefire, an episode immortalized in world collective memory as the day Pelé stopped a war. The assembly praised the Brazilian people for welcoming Biafran refugees and integrating them into society. It concluded by formally applauding Biafrans for their struggle for freedom. The Legislative Assembly of the state of Sao Paulo applauds the historic struggle of the Biafran heroes and heroines for the right to enjoy the principle of self-determination of peoples, a clause enshrined by the United Nations, UN. The motion was dated May 28, 2026, and signed by Brazilian senator and Sao Paulo assembly member. This is one of the strongest official recognitions of the Biafran cause by a legislative body outside Africa. Analysts say the motion gives fresh international attention to the Biafran struggle for self-determination and keeps the memory of self-determination alive. The full document is now part of Sao Paulo's official legislative records.
Official Gazette of the State of Sao Paulo, Brazil, published in the edition of May 29, 2026. Motion number 186 of 2026 reads, the Legislative Assembly of the State of Sao Paulo, under Article 154 of its internal rules, expresses a motion of applause to the Biafran people on the occasion of the Biafran Day Heroes and Heroines celebration on the 30th of May as a symbol of resistance so that the world does not forget what was the Biafra-Nigerian War, which took place between 1967 and 1970 and resulted in the genocide of 3 million Biafrans, becoming one of the greatest humanitarian tragedies on the African continent in the 20th century. Now, Biafra is a territory with deep and independent historical roots, which, as a result of the British colonial process, was annexed to the Nigerian state without the consent of its indigenous populations. However, exercising their rights under international law, the Biafrans proclaimed the Republic of Biafra in 1967, which remained an independent state until 1970, seeking autonomy from the central government of Nigeria. The support of the Brazilian people for the Biafrans dates back many years. In February 1969, during a tour of Africa by Santos Family Club, the presence of King Pelé inspired a temporary ceasefire in the region, an episode immortalized in collective memory as the day Pelé stopped a war. This historical bond strengthens the humanitarian connection between Brazilians and Biafrans and reflects the deep gratitude of the Biafran people to Brazil for welcoming members of the diaspora and integrating them into Brazilian society. Therefore, the tribute to the Biafran Day heroes and heroines represents an act of remembrance and justice for the men, women, and children who lost their lives in the struggle for the rights of peoples to self-determination, thus giving the relevance and public interest of this matter. The Legislative Assembly of the State of Sao Paulo applauds the historic struggle of the heroes and heroines of Biafra for the right to enjoy principle of self-determination of peoples, a principle enshrined by the United Nations and used as a valid legal argument in the decolonization processes that took place on the African continent during the mid-20th century. Legislative Assembly of the State of Sao Paulo, Eduardo simply city, as released by Brazil, country in full glare of the world, picking their stand, taking their stand, standing on the side of Biafra, not on the side of Nigeria, because it's very clear that if they had, favored Nigeria, they would never have written this. So this shows you that Brazil as a country is sympathetic, just like Israel and US, to the cause of Biafra, and they have not only hidden behind, they are coming forward to show it, despite the lashback they may receive. They have picked their sides. So as it is right now, Israel has given their declaration for Biafra. America has given it. Now Brazil has come out to give it. See, Kanu said it. That one day, the world will agree and unite and discuss Biafra, and Biafra will come. This is a very landmark one. I'm very surprised. Because Brazil, as you know, is the most populous nation in South America. Very influential one, because Brazil has lots of blacks. In fact, Brazil is a very black-filled country. They respect blacks a lot. The slave trade and everything that happened, Brazil had a lot of history on that. And they are not one to see kind of intimidation and, what I call it, bully happen. Even during the Biafra War, they stood in solidarity. That when the people are looking for their freedom, it is as good as give it to them. Why are you hiding it from them? Self-determination is not an offense anywhere in the world. What is the crime? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the prison, and this also declaration gives that support for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, the two are hand in hand. The freedom of Ndigbo, Nnamdi Kanu, they are hand in hand. You can see America yesterday has already sent Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, to go forward and make sure that Kanu is released. Now Brazil has started the journey already by first of all lending their support for the truth. And what is the truth? The truth is that a people deserve to choose where they want to be. This is not about saying you want to divide Nigeria. There's nothing, I don't understand when people say threaten the unity of Nigeria. Do people threaten the unity of Nigeria by preaching against it? The real people who threaten the unity of Nigeria are people who carry guns in the bushes. The bandits, terrorists. They are the ones who threaten the unity of Nigeria. But here in Nigeria, but in Nigeria, when somebody just talks something, next thing you hear is, he is threatening the unity of Nigeria. Why do people behave that way? This is what you did and put Kanu in prison, because you said he is threatening. See, there are laws. The United Nations has enshrined laws that Nigeria has yet to respect. You can always say it's not in our constitution in Nigeria. Nigeria's constitution says the unity of Nigeria is unnegotiable. That's against the UN law now. It's against the AU law. It's against any law you can see in the world. You cannot say that in your country there is no human rights. As our country, we don't respect human rights here. Nobody has right to life. That's our constitution. We don't care what UN says. It cannot work. There are basic rights. The right to live, the right to move from place to place, the right for freedom of expression, the right of freedom of association. That is association in all forms. Associate, belong here, belong here. Yes, people can say, I don't belong anywhere. Some countries even say, you have a right to not even have a gender. Just, I don't have any gender. If you go to some websites, there are provisions for male, female, and other gender you can choose. People are beginning to understand that freedom is universal. That it has no limit. So somebody can come and say, I don't want to be a Nigerian. But now, must you be? Okay, you can say, okay, fine, go and find your own country. There's That's what he's doing. He's finding his own country. What if his own country is inside your own country? Is your country not in this earth? What if the country is looking for is tied to your own country? You say you should go and find this country. Hey, you have given him the room to go outside Nigeria and find this country. Oh, you want him to go outside Nigeria and find this country. Thank you, Brazil, for this wonderful declaration. It is well welcome. Anything that can give a hope to our people is very welcome, because we always hear every day bringing it for millions of Igbo around the world, letting them know that this battle will be won. Will be won. And like I always say, I will be here to announce the emancipation of Igbo, the freedom of Biafra, and the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And I will be here to do just that. The question is, where will you be? Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's say a word of appreciation for Brazil. Let's say a word of appreciation for Eduardo's simplicity and all those who work together to produce this wonderful document, and the approval also of the Brazilian state. Biafra Igbos are very grateful. And to all the Igbos in Brazil also, well done. You all are comrades. Thank you very much.
The problem of Nigeria is not gun and bullet. It's spiritual. It's spiritual. You can't fight an ideology with gun and bullet. Let me explain this. Sit down before we pray. I'm worried. Some people want to fight an ideology. How do you fight an ideology? An ideology is like a spirit. You can't fight an ideology. You can't use gun and bullet to stop an ideology. The way to deal with an ideology, you engage it with wisdom. The only bullet that can kill an ideology is the bullet of knowledge. Wisdom. Wisdom. The only way the only way to deal with the ideology is to go back to the founder of the ideology and reprogram the ideology and stand at the central processing unit of the ideology and make sure it is rightfully corrected. Look at, if you remove the leader, have you removed the ideology? There are more crazy Nnamdi Kanu that will come up after Nnamdi. They are just hiding under him. The only way to kill this is not by gun and bullet. It's by engaging with proper dialogue, with knowledge and wisdom. This cry we are hearing here is not a cry of children, it's a cry of adults. The only way, I am not an advocate that Nigeria should separate, God forbid. No. But I'm saying the best way to handle this, listen to the cry of the children. Sit down. Everything is not gun and bullet. When you take the leader away, okay, take the leader away. The next, how many people are on the street? Do you know how many spirit of Biafra have entered people? Do you know how many? Do you know how many millions are carrying the spirit of Biafra around? So if you kill the leader or you take the leader away, can you take the spirit from everybody? Ojukwu is not here, but Biafra is alive. It's an ideology. The man who started it has left. Before he left, he kept quiet and lived peacefully and left. But the generation that have come have picked it up, and it's even worse than his own now. And they are engaging it with an idea, with knowledge. So the best way to deal with this is not gun and bullet. It's not gun and bullet. When the revolution want to start, the revolutionists, the first thing they will do, they will pass the idea and impregnate their followers. The only way to stop it is to stop them before they impregnate the followers. But if the followers are impregnated, that's all. All of them are carrying pregnancy. They will soon deliver to other children. If you have 2 million Biafra, you already have 4 million Biafra. Because they are selling the ideology. And now, I don't have a problem. But my own concern is that you don't take woman's life. The best way to do that, you engage them in the ideology. If you feel the ideology is not correct, you dialogue. You sit down with them. If dignifying them will make them feel important, then do that. We can't be killing people and we're getting excited. No. Boko Haram is a terrorist group. Have you stopped them from killing? Are they not still killing? They're still killing. Did it start as a peaceful group? Yes. Were the ideology crazy? Yes. How do you engage it? Engage the leaders. And you see, some of these things are very spiritual. They are very spiritual. Very spiritual. See, something that can die within 15 days, it can stay there for 15 years because the way leaders are handling it. The issue of Biafra is so simple. You are agitating? Is this what you want? Then conform. Okay, let's do a referendum. Let's see how popular this your thing is. Or restructure Nigeria. That's all. Sit down with these boys, make them feel important. How did the unrest in Niger Delta died? Yaradua did dialogue. That's the best way. This thing, everything gone, bullet, everything, fight, aggression, it will take us nowhere. The world is too civilized. Look at America. Look at the way they abuse Trump and they say everything. The guy with those bands and tweet again. He tweet and continue his life. That is what we call civilization. That is what we call. You can abuse me to hell, say whatever you want to say. It doesn't stop it. I am the president and I am the commander in charge of wherever you are. You abuse, but I'm still your president. These things are just simple maturity. To fill a political office is not maturity, it's an appointment. I'm worried. I started talking about Biafra before this happened. And I was saying, let's kill this thing. Dialogue. Dialogue. Even we as fathers, our children will just do some things and we see it very stupid. But we have to give them audience. I just hear them and let them talk. And when they talk, what do? We judge and advise them. Sitting down at the table and talking, even to take us to discuss for 1 month, for life not to be lost, is more important than losing lives. If we have to engage Nnamdi Kanu and all the Biafra discussing, young man, what do you want? Let's do night vigil in discussing than losing millions of souls. Discussion, dialogue will never kill anybody, but bullets will kill.
This is a very powerful news. You all have seen how everything is happening. The Brazil parliament recognizing Biafra. That is why you see Nigerian government, they are not at rest. Since the day they made this 30th May of Independence Day of Biafra, since that time, many things have been going on, but some people may think that everywhere is quiet, and everywhere is not quiet. If you are listening to the news recently, even though the one you are going to hear now, the main reason why they are doing every means to turn the whole case now, so that let them sentence Mazam Kano death sentence for you to see it. And since then, that is why you see many things. The government, they are afraid of tomorrow, because they are afraid of America and they are afraid of Israel. They are afraid of, they don't even know what will be the next step the world power will take concerning this issue of Biafra and Nigeria. And in fact, the government, they say that they don't want to hear and they don't want to listen to the people cry. What they want, what they know is that how they are going to be marginalizing one section of the country and keep claiming that they are the problem of the country. Just watch Adeji, what he said concerning Mazam Kanu, his arrest, and what Gumi has been doing in Nigeria. What about Gumi? Just listen.
Nnamdi Kanu was arrested for far less things that Shegumi has said, far less promotion that Shegumi has said. But if somebody like me say those things that he's saying, I'll be arrested. Go and check all his previous videos. That because I'm now calling him out, he's now worried. Because I've called for his arrest, he's now worried. He does not eradicate all the banditry, pro-terrorism stand he has taken in the past. People like Sheikh Gumi, if Nigeria was an ideal society, he should not be walking freely on the street. I have no apology for this position. But because the government is complicit.
Why do you think government is unwilling or do not have the political will to go after even the ones that UAE gave us their names?
Yes. So what I think is, I'm inclined to agree with General Tiwa Danjuma that they collude with the armed bandits to kill innocent Nigerians. I believe that insecurity has become one of the most lucrative business in Nigeria. And if you look at that Kogi State General that was killed, General Ali, I think so, they said many things. He was warned severally to stop trying to crush Boko Haram.
That's Colonel Ali?
Yes. That he was warned severally because that was someone that was really after eradicating Boko Haram. But they took him out because some people are somewhere making so much money with insecurity in the country. And I believe that government is complicit, because if there is no way you can tell me that government is not complicit when they are selling gold on the main road in Zamfara. It's impossible. They look at the way these terrorists move freely unchallenged all over the country. You cannot tell me this is a government that has army, air force, navy, ground troops, many divisions, prison. And you tell me we have one of the best trained army in the world. One of the best trained. Nigerian soldiers have gone all over the world and have excelled at ground battles. And you tell me that we cannot defeat these people? I refuse to believe same.
Let's look at what's happening in Oyo State. We celebrated Children's Day 2 days ago, and we know that over 30 children are still in captivity, some of them as young as 2 years, 3 years. Government is not bold enough to say this is what we want to do. Do you think, even though government keeps arguing about it, they don't pay ransom, but experiences have shown we will see these people release the people, we don't get to arrest anybody, we don't get to kill anybody. How do they release these people? Is it that we are truly paying ransom? And are you worried about this or your incident?
Yeah, of course. One of the victims, the teacher who was unfortunately beheaded, is our client. We're grieved by the family. We are constantly in touch with the family. We grieve with them. We mourn his passing. Unfortunately, and most regrettably, is that the family have not even been given the opportunity for them to bury their dead. You know, we had written to the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to personally intervene in the matter, not to delegate this matter. A president should act like his president. Should not sit in the comfort of his office, of the villa. Should leave the villa when there are problems like this and go to the battlefront. We have seen presidents all over the world do this. This is what is expected of a commander. If not, you are not commanding anything. Even the governor of Oyo has refused to lead from the front. Even the 30 that you said is understated. You can be rest assured that more than hundreds of children will be in custody of terrorists and criminal gangs all across the country, because many of these incidents are unreported. Many. The only reason why the Oyo incident was reported was because the terrorists posted it online. There are so many others that ransom are just collected from the families and they are set at freed, and there are others that could not pay. We have just discovered that another teacher was killed in the north, who even after ransom was paid, he was killed. So it shows that there is no credible government in place in the country, and it's indeed very sad. Government must not only speak to condemn violent acts, government must be seen to be proactive, to go after those who are perpetrating these violent acts and bring them to book. That is the only way that the citizens will feel safe. Most Nigerians can no longer even travel by road. That is how bad it is. Two of the greatest fear of every Nigerian today is to be kidnapped. The second is to be gunned down by the police. These are two of the greatest fears of every Nigerian. We just saw recently how the Nigerian who had been handcuffed, who was pleading his innocence in Delta was shot at close range by the police. Then another police officer had just threatened on a viral video that if anybody records him, he's going to shoot and kill the person. So these are the two greatest fears of every Nigerian. Number one, that may they not be kidnapped. So when Nigerians make that prayer that may Nigeria not happen to you, these are the things that Nigerians are praying against.
Oh yes. Deji has already said everything the way it is. What is there is that we are living in a place, in an area that is not worthy to be called a country. That is why you see this issue of terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and rest of them everywhere. And once you come out to speak the truth, what is really happening in the country, then your life will be at stake. The government will be trying to make sure that they kill you by all means. I mean, two people that everybody is afraid in the country, the kidnapper and the police, meaning the government. So those two people, if one person did not hit you the other side, the other person may hit you the other side. Meaning everybody is afraid of itself. You are afraid to go and meet and to go close to the police, and you are afraid of to go to the road. Or in fact, into your house, you are afraid of staying into your house. You are afraid of sending your children to school. You are afraid of many things. And once people talk about what is really happening, the government will be threatening those people. It is very, very shocking. Very, very. In fact, I would like to hear your comment down below. Like, subscribe, and share it for everyone to see things happening in Nigeria.